This is The Law Show on CL 650. Now back to the show.
Smiling faces sometimes.
The undisputed truth. Smiling faces sometimes tell lies. Welcome back to the Law Show here on CIL 650. I'm Sterling Fox, joined in studio by John Lakes and John White, partners at LakesWhyteLLP, a North Vancouver law firm with a focus on estate planning and estate litigation. And those smiling faces that we referenced musically there a moment ago, our guest John Lakes said, beware of those types when you're trying to arrange for powers of attorney and other appointments in your life. Beware of new smiley best friends. One aspect of our legal checkup on this early juncture in 2016 is the agreements, the power of attorney. And this segment, John Lakes, I want you to talk to us a little bit about something you've mentioned a few times, representation agreements. What are they? And flesh them out for us a little here.
Okay, they're BC's equivalent to living wills, because there's a living will in British Columbia is not a legal document. It's a moral document, and it's not a legal document. We have a document called a representation agreement, which has been around since 2000. And the original idea was to have the representation agreement to deal with both, to replace a power of attorney and also deal with healthcare issues. It did, but now it's primarily used for healthcare issues. There's a law that says, it's called the Healthcare Consent Act, that says if someone's unable to make healthcare decisions, their closest relative can make that healthcare decision. So that would be the spouse or the children. So,
and is that without any kind of documentation either?
Without a representation.
That's just the law, right?
So,
okay, all right.
So a lot of people probably don't need a representation agreement because their family can work things out.
Sure.
However...
But like Eleanor Rigby,
well,
not everyone has family surrounding them, do they?
Well, as I say to my clients, there's 4 categories of people in particular who need to consider a representation agreement. So first of all would be the Eleanor Rigbys of the world, whose closest relative may be their sister lives in Denmark.
Right.
And they may want to name their best friend. They may want to name their sister-in-law because their brother may be deceased, but in-laws are not legal relatives. So the people with nobody needs to have a representation agreement. Second of all, if there's a second marriage and there's issues between the children and the spouse, children of the first marriage and the spouse of the second, you may need a representation agreement to make sure who's really in charge.
John White, an aside, nodding vigorously as to the frequency of disputes between the children of the first family and the children of the second family.
Oh, they sure happen.
Mm-hmm.
Or third of all, if there's religious differences within the family as to what happens on death. Or fourth of all, if there's a mental health issue within a family member. So, for example, one of the sons has severe mental health issues and thinks mom should go swimming at Kitsilano Ocean every day of the year to cure her arthritis. So it is quite a complex document, and it talks about giving access to healthcare records, to make healthcare decisions, making housing decisions for the person, and it's an important document for people to prepare if they need it. Now there's a simpler document too, which is called the Healthcare Directive.
Right, and we've mentioned that earlier as well. Yeah. What's the difference, John White, between that and the representation agreement your partners just described?
Well, strictly speaking, the representation agreement is for making healthcare decisions about the sort of care you're going to receive.
Okay.
The Healthcare Directive is a little bit more focused on the perennial question, if I can put it as bluntly as this, when do you pull the plug?
Right.
It's an end-of-life decision.
Okay.
At what point is the patient not going to be resuscitated or kept on life support? And a lot of people have the concept of a living will, quote unquote, where they want to address issues like this. And as John said, that's a statement of their intentions. It has some moral effect. It doesn't have any legal effect. But a healthcare directive has a little bit more legal force to it than a living will. dealing with that critical question of when is the patient saying that medical intervention should end.
Right. I'm afraid we're both out of time, and I'm disappointed that we're out of time, because this is really good stuff, and it's our first show of the new year, and it's a great way to sort of organize it. John Lakes, we don't like talking about our own mortality. This whole business of wills and dying and executors, it makes a lot of us squeamish. We're uncomfortable with it. But once a year, even just once a year, we do need to confront our mortality and go, well, it may be time to just have a look at our life, John White, and get things in order. Just get it in order.
Well, like the polar bear swim, you only have to do it once a year.
John Lakes and John White, thank you for this. Really a very fun, great way to start off the new year, and a lot of really good, important information. We appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Sterling.
All right, we'll see you next time on The Law Show.